Hello, and welcome back for Lesson 1-3, Practice 2, using IntelliCAD, provided by CAD Manufacturing Solutions. I'm Tracy, and we're continuing with modifying commands and learning object snaps. We're diving right into creating a line, starting at 2,05. We want to make sure that we're formatting our command correctly, so our next endpoint is going to be 2.5 units along the x-axis to the right of our first endpoint. For the next segment, rather than referencing on the command line, I'm just going to snap to the endpoint since we have our snapping turned on. Then we'll get more into this a little bit later, but we're going to turn on ortho mode, which constrains our line draw to horizontal and vertical lines. So as you can see here, we're moving the cursor around and we can only make those horizontal and vertical lines making 90-degree angles. We'll go ahead and turn off ortho mode so that we can make our next endpoint 5 units, 20 degrees from our last endpoint, and we're left with a couple of intersecting lines. Use the trim command and then select the segments that you want to trim. We're left with a perfectly drawn triangle. Let's draw another line starting at 5,2. Then we'll take the other end of the line 2 units in the direction 45 degrees from the last endpoint. The next endpoint will go 2 units in the direction 135 degrees from our last endpoint. Then 2 units in the direction 225 degrees from the last endpoint. And then Command C to close our shape. Given that our snapping is turned on, we can then draw more lines, snapping to the midpoint of each of these lines, creating another square inside of this square. Let's draw another couple shapes so that we can keep practicing. We're going to draw a line starting at 8,6 and going to 8,2. Once our line is drawn, I want you to start practicing drawing a circle interactively, selecting the starting point for your circle, which is going to be the center of your circle. We're going to right-click and tell our cursor that we're specifically looking for the midpoint of a line. So once you've selected midpoint, then you can click on the midpoint of that line that we previously drew. And we're going to designate 1 unit as the radius of our circle. Our circle function is still active, so we're going to clear that, and now we're going to draw a line next. And since our snapping is turned on, we can snap from the end point of this line to the midpoint of this other line. I want you to practice this on your own a bit and see how easy having the object snapping turned on makes it to draw features in IntelliCAD. I want to thank you so much for practicing in IntelliCAD with us today. We'd like to remind you to stay up to date about our software news at intellicadms.com. See you at our next training session.